There's no denying that the Spot from the Spider-Verse movies is a fascinating and terrifying villain. In this video, let's talk about how strong he really is and what Miles and the other Spider people might be up against in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Personally, I love how the Spot's character has evolved. He started out as a clumsy, almost laughable villain, the kind you'd expect to see just as the villain of the week in a Spider-Man episode. But by the end of the first part of Across the Spider-Verse, he had transformed into a serious threat, one that everyone should fear. So, what exactly makes him so powerful? Well, all of his abilities come from the Super Collider explosion in the first movie. That event didn't just mess with his body, it completely changed him on a biological level. He became a living portal generator, which is a pretty unique and dangerous power to have. At first, his ability to create portals seemed simple enough, but as the story progressed, it became clear that his powers were growing stronger and more unpredictable. So, let's break down exactly what he can do now. First up, there's his portal creation ability. The Spot can generate dark matter portals, which means he can open up gateways in space and time. This isn't just for show. He can use these portals to redirect attacks, throwing objects at enemies or even launching surprise punches and kicks from completely unexpected angles. It's like he's fighting from all sides at once, making him incredibly difficult to predict or counter. One of his most dangerous powers is his ability to travel between dimensions with ease. He can hop between different realities, using what's known as the spotted dimension as a kind of hub. This makes him incredibly difficult to trap or predict because he can simply vanish into another dimension at will, and reappear anywhere. No matter where you think you've cornered him, he's always got an escape route, and that's a huge advantage when he's up against someone like Miles or any other spider person. Another of the Spot's powerful abilities is his ability to throw dark matter discs. These discs aren't just ordinary projectiles, they're weapons that pack a serious punch. On top of that, his portals aren't just for travel, he can use them to send your own attacks flying right back at you. Imagine trying to punch him, only to have your own fist redirected and hit you instead. It makes him incredibly frustrating to fight, because you never know if your attacks will land, or if they'll just be sent right back your way. Of course, it doesn't stop there. The Spot has superhuman strength, meaning he can crush solid objects with his bare hands. Whether it's smashing through walls or tossing around large debris, he's incredibly powerful. But it's not just his strength that makes him a threat, he's also incredibly fast. His reflexes are superhuman, allowing him to dodge attacks and land blows with precision. He's a combination of speed and strength that makes him a terrifying opponent to face in battle. But what makes the Spot even more dangerous is the transformation he undergoes after absorbing the dark matter from other super colliders. This change isn't just a small upgrade, it's terrifying. His body becomes a living, breathing portal, and it's filled with dark energy. In this new form, his powers go to another level entirely, pushing him toward a near godlike status. He's no longer just a villain with portals, he's a being of pure dark matter, and that makes him even harder to stop. One of the most impressive upgrades is that he no longer even needs portals to teleport. He can now levitate effortlessly, floating through the air with no effort at all. This gives him even more mobility, making it harder for anyone to pin him down. But it doesn't stop there. The Spot can now absorb dark matter like a black hole. He can pull in everything around him, sucking up matter and energy, and then unleashing it in a devastating attack. It's like he becomes a walking black hole, and it's not just destructive, it's incredibly hard to counter. He can pull in attacks, objects, and even entire environments, making him an even greater threat. There are some storyboards for Beyond the Spider-Verse that hint at another terrifying ability. The Spot can grow to an enormous size, becoming a literal giant. Just picture this. You're up against a villain the size of a skyscraper, someone who can teleport and absorb dark matter. This makes us wonder, how do you even fight something like that? It's gonna be an absolute nightmare for Miles and the rest of the Spider people, but I think it's gonna be especially tough for Miles because remember, the Spot is after him.
I'm gonna take everything from you, like I took everything from me. What? See you back home, Spider-Man.
The Spot wants to take everything Miles loves from him, and that's a personal battle that makes him even more dangerous. At this point, the Spot has become nearly unstoppable, and it's gonna be really hard for Miles and the other spider people to stand a chance against him. There are some theories floating around that maybe Miles' father is gonna die, which would certainly be an emotional blow to Miles, but I think that might be a bit too predictable. It would make sense in terms of story, but maybe it's too obvious. What if it's someone else who gets hurt? Or maybe no one dies at all? It's hard to say. But here's a crazy thought. What if the Spot shifts his focus from Miles' dad to Gwen? We know how much Miles cares about her, and what if the Spot decides to target her instead? That would definitely throw everything off, but I'm pretty sure that Gwen is gonna be fine.